Sarah. This is a new segment, well, a new series that I'm starting. It's called MindFeed. I understand that so many people are going through a lot. There's depression, there's just so many things that are happening currently. So many people are dying, there's committing suicide, there's drug and substance abuse. So why not talk about it? So this is a platform where we'll be talking about it all, PTSD, any issue that you might be going through, that your neighbor might be going through, things that people rarely talk about. We'll be talking about them right here on MindFeed. So I have a guest because I cannot just come up with something and just talk about it. Today we'll be talking about unraveling mental health. What is mental health? What is it to you? Is it something that's real, or we are just forging it? So she is a social worker and she's going to introduce herself properly. Hi.
Hi everyone, my name is Nyarie. I'm a social worker at International Wellness Center, which is an organization that helps people with substance use disorders.
All right. How is your work?
Oh, it's great at times,
Mm-hmm.
but stressful as well.
How is it stressful?
You know, when you're dealing with people that are going through substance use disorders,
Mm-hmm.
they have their own issues, especially when it's in the initial stages of recoveries,
Okay.
mood swings, trying to get to understand that they are now in rehab and they have to do it for themselves. So during that period, they can be stressful, putting you under pressure. Some people have attention-seeking behaviors. So
Okay.
imagine a grown man seeking attention. They do all the craziest things you may think of. So yeah, it can be stressful sometimes,
All right.
but fun as well. at
Sometimes it
times.
is fun.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it that you understand by mental health?
I think when we're talking about mental health, we're talking about emotional and social well-being of a person.
Okay.
How that person feel, think, and behave. Yes.
And does it matter? Does mental health matter?
Yes, it does, because we're talking about how a person, how it affects someone's behavior. So imagine I'm coming here, right? And I have my own emotional issues.
Okay.
I'm anxious about this whole thing. I might not be too comfortable to talk to you. I might be angry and not accommodate a conversation with you. So it does matter because it affects how you behave socially. Yes.
Okay, my main concern and question is, growing up, I never had of anything to do with mental health. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like we just came up with this thing. All of a sudden, it's now
Popular.
popular. What happened? Or maybe it was there, we just didn't know about it, or it's something new.
Okay, so what I think is it was there, but in terms of awareness,
Okay.
it was a bit low. Due to exposure, like right now, you can give a 5-year-old a smartphone and he or she will be able to operate it. So same with issues of mental health issues. Due to increased awareness, we've become aware of it. There are now programs like this one. Imagine I just bump into your channel, I get to hear about mental health, and then I'll get to understand that maybe this is the same thing I'm suffering from, but I just didn't know what it was. So due to that exposure on social media, people are talking about mental health, why it's important. In schools, everywhere you go, exactly. Plus also because with the life we are living right now, we are facing a lot of issues, like the effects of COVID-19 actually could affect us.
Yeah.
That was another trigger for increased mental health issues. Shakapa Shaito even Moshi recognized and talked about Derek.
Okay.
Yes.
So would you say at some point Orambo Sangane a mental health issue? Because I don't wanna lie, maybe I went through it, but ndisingazivi. How would one could know this is mental health illness?
Okay. Yeah, I did actually. So there was a time, and I realized that I wasn't feeling well.
Okay.
and it wasn't something that was more.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine all of a sudden you're being told Kuti, you are really, really sick. It actually took a toll on me.
All right.
And I could feel that I was losing myself in accepting the whole issues.
Okay.
Chinhu chinonzi pfungwa chinhu chakaoma. Unopedzisira wakufila zvinhu zviri exaggerated because you are mostly thinking about it, you are more anxious about it. Kutosvika papoint yekuita heart palpitations and all that. Saka, but what helped was assistance, professional help,
Okay.
that helped me to accept the things that I couldn't change, because already I could tell that my mental health was affected. Kutodya chaiko chaiko, my appetite was affected.
So you were sick near something else, and then it affected you mentally.
Psychology, yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's what happened. Saka I could tell that ndakutorwara because of that. But due to support and help around me, zvakazvaita kuti ndikasike kuaccepta what I couldn't change, and then focus on the now instead of what ifs, why me, and things like that. Yes.
All right. So how did you know, Kuti, this is now a mental health issue? Mental health is a depression. How is it different?
Mental health is actually a combination of a lot of issues. Like there's depression, there's anxiety, there's PTSD that you're talking about. Like it's a lot of issues.
Okay.
People are still stigmatizing issues of mental health illness because the person, when someone mentioned mental health, you get the sense. Yet it's huge. When we're talking about mental health, we're talking about a lot of things.
Okay. Yes. So nyangwe kurwara kwepfungwa also can be included there.
Yes.
Oh, so mental health is like a broad term. It knows depression, PTSD,
bipolar.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So what were you going through specifically?
For me, it was anxiety.
Okay.
Yes, anxiety. And then for one to be in just stress, since it was something that was new to me, I suffered from stress and anxiety.
So when you're going through anxiety, what is it that you're feeling? Pane song, yeah, you know, I'm trend up TikTok. Anxiety keeps on watching me. Like it's like you feel as if, according to the trend, it's like you feel like someone is watching you, but there is no one. It's just maybe it's in your brain. It's like pressure of some sort.
Like you're anxious about something.
Okay.
Imagine you wrote your exams and then you're expecting your results. And usually these days it's online and online. What do you feel? My results. Let's say you are told in the evening and my results you become anxious about it. You feel like results.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yes.
So you were anxious about your sickness?
Yes.
You thought you were dying?
Yes, exactly. And then having to overthink about it. So now that I'm dying, what's next? What should I have done in my life? What am I going to do? How do I accept the fact that maybe I am dying? So what really helped me was that Dr. Dewa, my boss, he actually acknowledged the fact that as much as I'm going through what I was going through, I needed help. So they were there for the professional support and also social support, getting me involved in social activities just for mind relaxation. Yeah, that really helped me. And also work.
Also work
Yes,
also helped.
It did, because it helped me with being occupied. Okay. Being around people. Okay. That really helped me.
All right, let's talk about your sickness, which I didn't want to talk about. But as someone that almost saw death, what were you thinking about? What was your main concern? What was making you feel sad?
Watching what my family was going through.
Okay.
In accepting the whole issue. Thinking of my mom. and how she was obviously feeling and not being able to show it to me. Although I
Okay.
could tell that she was also stressed.
Okay, and she would hide it from you.
Yes, and trying to comfort me, but I could tell Kuti she was going through a lot, maybe more than me. As a mother, you know how it is. So watching my family like that, it was unbearable. It was really unbearable.
Why is mental health important? Why should people be told about it? Why should people learn about mental health? How does it affect someone? If you don't know about it, how does it affect you?
Okay, so mental health is important in the sense that it helps us to be aware of what we may be suffering from.
Okay.
Because usually when you're talking about not being well, it's mostly focused on the physical side and really on the mental side. So the more you're aware of mental health issues, you would know Kuti, maybe the way I'm feeling right now, it's because of mental, yes, and this and that. And it helps you to know how to handle it. Instead of erupting over the wrong people, unokwanisa kuziva how to manage it when you're suffering from it.
What's the best way to handle mental health?
It depends on the extent of it. But so the first thing may be professional assistance,
Okay.
whereby one engages a psychologist, therapist, so that they help them walk through the journey. And then other techniques that one can actually implement, like self-care. Taking care of yourself helps you in relaxation, and also take time for yourself kuti unatsonzwisisa what you are going through and how to overcome it.
Okay. So does mental health have stages? You know, like with cancer, stages. They could stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Does it also have stages?
Yes, it does. It definitely does. That's why when you're going to see a psychologist and to it assessment, so that they see kuti if it's depression, iripapi. Can it be treated by talk therapy only and panchoda medical assistance? So yes, it does have stages. So the earlier you know about mental health issues, the more you are able to handle it.
Okay.
Kana ichiriwo initial stage, you know how to handle it. Saka itoriwo nema stages.
Okay.
Yes.
Concern is, I feel like as youths, we are going through a lot.
Yeah.
How do you know could this is a mental health issue or we are just sad? What's the difference between mental health and being sad?
Okay. So when you realize that your lifestyle is now being affected, let's say you're someone who likes to have your meals 3 times a day, and then you find yourself not being able to even eat once a day, and it's persistent.
Okay.
Clearly that shows that there's something going on.
Okay.
Just sadness cannot be like that. For a week, you are struggling, you're now just eating so that you can survive, but deep down you've lost your appetite. So when you realize that your functionality is now being affected, then you can tell that you now need assistance. You are now going through something that you don't even know what it is.
Okay, and I have a couple of questions. I asked Manu Kuti, if you have a question about this, let me know. And these are questions that they asked. Kuti, so someone was like, what's the difference between being sad and depression? You answered that. And then this person asked a question, is weed okay when you're depressed?
Okay.
Just a joint, is it okay?
Okay. It is okay, and because you're trying to relieve stress. But the problem is, after relieving that stress, and mangwana kushaita chimwe chiri stress, you're going to need that joint again. Mangwana futhi kuitaring a problem of what futhi joint until you become dependent on the weed.
Okay.
And it now becomes another problem. So now that stress, it's still there. I resolve it. And on top of that, pamwe watu ni substance dependence.
Okay.
Yes,
So it doesn't help.
it doesn't help.
What is depressing me is, as a university student, I'm paying a lot of money as tuition fee, accommodation, and food. And this is another one. The same educational we were told is the key to success is not helping anymore. We meet people with degrees selling airtime in the streets. So this is where depression is coming from this guy or this girl. Arkuti, there's just a whole lot of things that are happening, and there's nothing that you can do about it. What's the best way to help yourself with that type of depression? Okay, I am depressed, but there's nothing that's going to help me solve this depression.
Okay. The problems comes when already you're looking at someone's situation, which might be different from yours.
Okay.
Kutotanga kutodevelopa low self-esteem about yourself kunotozopedzisira kwatokunzira mental health issues. Exactly. Life is difficult. We have to expect anything can happen. So what's needed is to handle those issues.
Okay.
Develop skills, coping skills when you're faced with life challenges. Nyika yakaoma, and that's true. But that same person or with a degree, but haana basa, he or she is surviving. How is he or she surviving? Muna hawane basa times dzakafanana. What you need to do is to accept that meeting may happen. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, do I know something? What am I doing? Because sometimes, yes, you might not be practicing what you learned at school, but it also helps panyaya dzema skills. Chikoro hachiri kuti uchangonoshanda basa rawadzidza chinotokubatsirawo in a way to mature, to know about things while you're waiting for an opportunity to implement what you learned.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess this is answered. I think these questions are answered. Mama Arungwe and Dirana, they're just similar. Okay. So I understand that you work with people over Noitajima drugs. Is it drugs?
Yes, substance misuse.
Okay. So what's the worst thing that you've seen from these guys? Like, should it similar? Okay, all of them, they're like this and that pattern.
Okay. Not kuzoti vese how, but some of the common traits are attention seeking.
Okay.
I don't know kuti zvinouya nenyaya yekushandisa masubstances here kana kuti, but in most cases vanoda attention. Probably it's because it's something that they may lack back at home. Usually kana munhu atova deep into drugs, panenge pane certain discrimination yekuti uyu anta drugs. Saka when they come to our side, they'll be welcomed. Saka that gap inenge yamboitika iyaya inenge yakuda kufiliwa. They become they do seek attention. And also nyaya yedependence ndo imwe yakati kure iyoyo, mostly from families.
Okay.
So which is important kuti munhu, is they are going through rehabilitation, they also have to learn skills of being independent.
Okay.
And not solely depend on their families for everything. So that's why they're taught on the issues of self-care, and also on the issues of how to become independent by employing certain skills, life skills. Yes.
All right. My patients, do they sometimes have a fallout yokuti abachatod? You know, like how we see in the movies where they start shaking. Zviriko here in real life?
Yes, zviriko. Zvekutoti havachadi ezeni havachadi kuita rehabilitation.
They just want to go back. They start screaming, shouting, violence.
So what happens initially is that there are two types of clients, and pane anouya for rehabilitation to decide that I want to go through this.
Okay.
Koita anouya achinzi anzi nefamily aitese away, but iye mindset yake aisati fixated on the issue of actuality going through rehabilitation.
Okay.
Saka iyeye when the withdrawals comes and anenge achitombofunga kuti zvepanapa andichada, but we actually help them manage the withdrawal symptoms.
Okay.
So they won't get to a point of shaking vigorously like you see in the movies. Saka by that assistant reduce that.
Right.
But my first days when someone is going through withdrawal behavior yawo inenge yakatosiyana nemunhu atoita pass through withdrawal stage iyoyo. Usually ndo patinowana vanhu vanenge vashoti aini zvepanapachi handichade zverehab zvachona handisi kuda. Yes, it's for my own good, but I don't want to do it now, or I can do it from home, of which by saying so what they mean is that this kana ndiri kumba ndinogona kuwana 1 or 2 joints. Exactly.
So how do you deal with vanhu vanenge vakutoti andichada? Munovaita sei? Do you lock them in a room? How do you handle them?
Okay, so what we normally do is that we make them understand kuti it's not going to be an easy journey. Seeing others that are already there is motivating itself.
Okay.
And trying to talk to them to understand kuti whatever their family are doing is for their own good. And rehabilitation inotorwadza. We make them understand kuti why do they need to go through the process, and try by all means to realize that once they come to that realization, they will calm down and then enjoy the whole process. And also other clients that may be at a certain stage of rehabilitation actually do a marvelous job in helping others who may be going through that. Yes,
Also vanotombotaura vese.
Yes,
Okay.
so much. Vanototaura kutokudza kutoti iwewe dai waita sei wadzikama and just go through the process. Some of us have been through it, and satopane sitting. It's very helpful.
Oh.
Very helpful.
So you've never had a client akauya akazoenda kumba?
No.
You've never had a client like that?
Usually anenge atoita atokasika kudischarge pamwe family ndo inenge yabva yati you know what tikuda kuti aite sei auye kumba. But as long as kupedzisa kutokata treatment pamwe maybe kutransfer somewhere else.
Okay.
But as long as family iri in for it, usually hapana problem yekuti munhu continue.
Alright, so is there any advice you'd want to give someone? I don't go to one joint, one bottle of alcohol, I don't know. Aripama early stages of taking drugs.
Okay, what I would say is that person should research more on the substances that he or she may be taking.
Okay.
And also look around. Now how other people are going through due to the same thing, to the same substances, and then think of where they may be vakaramba vachikontinua kuita sei kutora such substances.
Alright.
Yes.
And you mentioned Kuti, you were sick. Are you okay now? Did you fix it, or you are in the process of fixing it?
In process.
You're in process.
Yes.
What would you say to someone who is currently in the shoes that you were in?
What I would say is be open about it. Talk to someone about whatever you may be going through, and then find ways on how to cope with certain illnesses. Professional help. Kana uchiona kuti zviri kuita sei zviri kundiremera. Yes, that's what I mean.
Alright. I understand the fact that you were anxious about something. You're anxious about death. Did you get over it, or you decided to forget about it?
I decided to get in terms with the fact that we are all going to die. Like, you know what happened today? I was telling you how I fell and dislocated my fingers. It could be a car accident. You leave home and you're saying that I'm going to work, and then the next thing you're just gone.
And you're gone.
Yes, it's something that we don't have control over.
Okay.
But we just have to accept and live now, and not focus on the what ifs, what will happen next. No. Tofana kungorarama zvenguva ino. Yes, and then not stress ourselves over something that we can't change or that we don't have control over. Zvinototiwestera time, zvinototiwedzera mental health issues.
Okay. Alright, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Alright, so this is the end of this episode. Please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because I have so much more of this coming, so you don't want to miss this. Alright, bye.
Bye.